From Lalate News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on Lalate.
It's a big midday here on Lalate with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In today's recording, we'll go over that monthly stimulus check and why the Democrats are likely to give you more months of checks. Then we cut to the recon. Done deal, signed, sealed. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you and the American people under the fourth stimulus recon. We'll go over all the deliciousness of this in the second half of this video. Then we cut to the world exclusive delivered first on this channel, as the number one man of the game is calling for your support for fourth stimulus recon, MSC. We'll go over what he's walking into and what you need to have his back on. And then we'll meet the new additions to this channel as Calendar Colleen has joined us with her new dates, and that's Calendar Cod. They're keeping track of the calendar, and I'm calendaring you in for a big broadcast starting right now at noontime. Hey, good noontime, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day across the board, and I hope the weather is good where you are. Thank you for joining me live from Santa Monica at noontime here on Lalate. We have incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update 2021. In this recording, we'll go over those monthly stimulus checks and why the Democrats are likely to give you more months of checks. Then we cut to the recon. Done deal, signed, sealed. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you and the American people under the fourth stimulus recon. The biggest payout we've ever seen in the history of this channel. We'll go over all the deliciousness in the second half of this video. Then in the third part, we'll go over what those application-based checks are, and then finally we'll go over the man who has your back, and we have his back as well. As we go walking into the MSC battleground, and guess what's happening? It's happening right now. Then we meet Calendar Colleen and Calendar Cod. It's a big day, and the excitement starts right here, right now, live from Santa Monica. And this is new time. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. The link is under the video. And away we go. Meantime, if you haven't signed up for those LA alerts, you need to do so. Totally free. And if you had signed up for those LA alerts overnight, you would have gotten the breaking news about the eviction moratoriums getting extended. Sign up for those LA alerts so you got that message early this morning. It's at news.la.com. A link to it is in the description. Over 1,000 of you are waiting for confirmation. Make sure you get that confirmation. If you haven't gotten it, do it over again and watch for it in the spam folder. You can get those LA alerts anywhere you're on the road or in the gym. Let's cut to the deliciousness of those reoccurring monthly stimulus checks. House versus Senate, Senate versus House, and who's proposing what? We have Warren, Sanders, and Wyden proposing a monthly check. They do not say the amount, but more about Bernie in a second. We have AOC and Omar proposing monthly $2,000, but not saying how many months. House Ways and Means saying monthly, but not saying the amount nor how often or how many months. And then we have the American Petition calling for $2,000, but not saying how many months. But then the one that's captivating a country is the House bill. Pandemic plus 1 year. It is not, categorically not, $2,000 a month. It's $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter. So vote House or Senate. House or Senate, tell me where you're tuning in from and how the weather is and how you're doing. Our thoughts and prayers are, of course, with the people of the East Coast and in the path of Ida. 14 people dead overnight in New York and New Jersey because of Ida's hitting and plummeting of the New England area. Who gets this fourth stimulus check? You do. Single individual, 75,000 less Democrats represent, you get a fourth stimulus check. Married couple, 150,000 less Democrats represent, you get one as well. Double it. Family of four, Democrats represent, you get a fourth stimulus check. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security and rural benefits, you get a fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check is not income. It's not taxable. And the fourth stimulus check will be the same amount for everyone, including you. And then the fourth stimulus check is not a waivable check. So if you're at the beach this weekend for Labor Day weekend, don't forget, I'm live on air all weekend long. I have new shows every single day because there's a lot of breaking news. You're going to see why in a second. Make sure you pay attention. If the check comes up to you and starts waving, it's not the U.S. check. It's the French check. A lot more friendly. And then if it kisses you on both cheeks, it's the Italian check. In the second half of this video, we go over the recon. Done deal, signed, sealed. The fourth stimulus recon is be going out to the American people in the next few days and weeks. This is $3.5 trillion of checks for you, generally application-based. So what does that mean? I'll explain it in the final 15 minutes of this video. Stay to the very end. Then we cut to the deliciousness of this stimulus. Also, that SSI reform that raises your benefits up. And finally, why the number one man in the whole equation for MSCs, multiple stimulus checks, has stepped forward to have your back and is asking you to have his back. I have all the world exclusive details, plus the introduction of Calendar Cod. Calendar him in, Calendar Colleague, coming up in the final 15 minutes of this video. Stay to the very end. But first, let's get some money. I had asked viewers who have success stories to send me their success stories on social media. Private message me at Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram if that's you. Here are new ones at noontime. Kyra getting $17,000. Valerie, $9,000. Dawn getting rent, electric, and gas with a heart, smile, heart, cat. I don't know what the cat is for, but thank you for the cat. I love a kitty. And there's some snap. There you go. But the big success story in recent days has been you. Purple Hawks have been killing it. 3 weeks ago, we had 3 viewers get $30,000. Last week, we had 3 viewers get over $40,000. But by the middle of the week, one of them said, I'm not stopping. I'm pushing further. His name? Johnny, going to $80,000 by getting 7 items approved by last weekend. Let's go over his numbers. Incredible. Johnny got $70,000 for this channel by really pushing and never stopping. And his numbers are the following. He got $12,000 for SNAP, $10,000 for EIDL. He got $2,000 for taxes. He got $21,000 for housing in one place and $25,000 in another place. $9,000 for utilities, and then gave $50 a month for internet and phone, bringing his grand total to $80,000. So it's time for you to get money right now. I had one viewer yesterday saying, is there any fourth stimulus check money for me to get now? No, but there's third stimulus money for you to get right this minute. And this is money available for you, and you can get it. I'm going to show you how. First, when we go over the rent money, viewers are getting massive sums of money from this channel. Average number is over $20,000 of rent. Let's look at the deliciousness starting right now. There you go. $27,000 for Elizabeth and Purple Hawk. Power is showing up. My goodness, incredible numbers. $20,000 across the board. $23,000, $24,000. This can be you. Utilities. We had Johnny get $9,000 for utilities, so the numbers are going higher by the minute. Let's look at Snap. OMG, Louie and John and Nancy, great job, and everyone else. But you're going to see someone in a second is getting $25,000, and that person could be you. And then we have people getting 3 items. Let's look at the people who got 3 items. Oh, my goodness, where are you? There you are, Nisi and Nancy. $32,000, and Mark with 2 items at $32,000, but Mark has 4 wonderful stories behind him. Number 1, Mark got 2 items at $32,000, but for 5 days on camera, I said to Mark, why did you not get Snap? Because it's a Snap to get. There we go. Ouch. Double Snap. Mark got Snap within 5 days. Killed it. You can do this as well. Number 2, he told his neighbor about this channel. The neighbor went from $0 to $20,000 in 1 week for rent. And you can do this because, Wes, guess what? Another viewer did this over the weekend. Shanann, Purple Hawk, member, 2 months, told her friend about this channel, and the friend got $21,000 in 1 week. I told my friend about you, Lalate. She went on, and now she's addicted to your channel. She got $9,000 for rent, $5,000 for utilities, and $6,000 annualized for Snap. You rock, Lalate. Well, thank you, and congratulations to your friend. But then Mark did another thing. Mark had gotten 3 items as of a few days ago, but now he's pushing getting more items. I'll have more updates about Mark later in the week. And finally, Mark got that Snap. He got $19,000 for Snap, Mark got, bringing his grand total on this channel to over $50,000. And there you go, because this is what we do, and that's not the sky, because the sky is far from that. Here's Lorraine at $105,000 she got from this channel. This could be you, because this is LA. This is what I've been doing since day one. There is no place in America like this channel, where I'm broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, getting people fortunes of money since day one. And that person could be you. In April of last year, people had applied for the EIDL loan and EIDL grant and were not getting approved. So I got their applications approved, one at a time, hand by hand, doing 10 applications a day, on air and off air, $25 million of EIDL loans approved, saving their homes, their employees' homes, and their businesses. Within 3 days, a new program was about to go live. So on April 25th, before the program went live, I started explaining to people what this is. Because trust me, it was going to be confusing. And I got viewers like Eileen Bellenkamp out of Florida this money, $15,000. Even though Florida did not go live for 2-3 months. What was it? PUA. Then in December of 2020, second stimulus was not coming, $600. So I stepped forward, I said, you need money? It was the holidays. I got viewers $250,000 of money for rent, like Tyrone and his family for out of Boston, getting $16,000 for rent, paying all his rent from December to March. But now, you're doing bigger and bolder than ever before. So get in pen and paper ready right now. Here is the opportunity for you starting right now. Here are the introductory remarks. Number one, I'm going to show you different places to reach out to get that money. So if one says no, don't stop. Reach out to the other 5. I'm going to show you 6. Each one has different eligibility. They also have their different pots of money. Number 2, every state has the same amount of money given to the number of residents in the state. Number 3, listen to the keywords I say in the video. It really helps get people approved. Here you go. Here are the 6 places you reach out to and the keywords you say. City Hall, City Housing Authority. That's 2 to reach out to. County Hall, County Housing Authority. That's 4. State Hall and State Housing Authority. That's 6. And the keywords you say are rent assistance because of COVID, rent or mortgage utility assistance because of COVID, and that is it. And rent assistance, mortgage assistance, or utility assistance because of COVID. And you can do this. Congratulations to Tim and Linda, who got this wonderful pot of money, and you can get this as well. If you got the money for rent or utilities, post your success stories in the live chat right now. The next pot of the money is the money coming back from your state due to overpayment of computer error and unemployment benefits. Federal government has ordered that money returned back to you, and one viewer got $3,000, another viewer got $5,000. And guess what? The federal government has also ordered them to upgrade their computers, which is perfect timing, because Windows announced this week, Microsoft announced this week, that Windows 10 is getting upgraded to Windows 11 in October, which the states have said, yeah, I'm running Windows 1910, the one where you rub some sticks together to light fire. It's a little bit out of date. And then the refund check coming back from IRS. This is the 2020 tax returns you paid taxes on. Mark got it, Cod got it. Mark got $1,400, Johnny got $1,800, and a viewer over the weekend got $2,000. More about that in a second. But here's a personal message from me to you. If you haven't posted success stories in the live chat right now, please do, because when you do, you help so many people. I launched this channel as a channel that you see nowhere else in the broadcast medium space, where there's financial news 24 hours a day, but a broadcaster trying to ensure you get money. And you help other people as well. When you post success stories in the live chat, you inspire people to pick up the phone. Just pick up the phone. Picking up the phone could change your whole universe for months to come. You pick up the phone, you start getting these sums of money. Then you realize the monies are bigger than ever before. You may have never heard of Snap until you found this channel, like Larry Maui never did. Now he's getting $6,000 annualized. You see people like Nisi and Art Sullivan who got 3 items, and then Mark who got 3. Now inspiring people like Johnny to get 7, and we see Lorraine getting $105,000. So do it. Pick up the phone. Post your success stories. Send me your on private message or social media, your success stories. I'll feature them on air. Let's go back to those unemployment benefits. Where and when? Direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. And you can track it at irs.gov. Do a transcript search, and 70% of the time it will work. And it'll reveal the tax return you filed and the taxes you paid. And there you go. It'll also reveal the refund check you got. Can we top that? Yes. As we go into the second half of this video with your 4 stimulus recon, done deal, signed, seal. $3.5 trillion of checks to come to the American people. I want to go a little bit off script right here and do something different, which I've not done in a while. I think we owe it to ourselves, don't we? When we look at this forced stimulus recon right now, as we get ready for the final 15 minutes of this video, and the world exclusive as the number one individual in the game trying to give you MSCs, I think we owe a walk back on what has happened from January to now. First, a lot of people wanted to run a story that said the Democrats weren't going to give you a recon at all under the forced stimulus recon, that it was never going to happen. Well, we knew that was untrue as of July when I was reporting on this channel that the Democratic caucus, House and Senate had met with the president, had agreed upon a recon, $3.5 trillion price tag, and had agreed upon doing a recon, $3.5 trillion price tag, where all the checks will be coming to you. A recon that's bigger than the first, second, and third that was all for corporations and all for you. So how could people literally run stories at the time in June and July that said the recon was never going to pass when all the Democrats had actually gone out and said, I'm doing the recon? That was number one. When the Senate started voting on the recon procedural, they kept on running those stories. Maybe the recon won't pass in the Senate. And I kept on looking at it saying, wait a second, they've already come out. In fact, at the time, if you remember, we had three meetings by Senate Democrats after the total meeting where they said, yeah, we're doing the recon. We're doing it at $3.5 trillion. People still wanted to tell you there was no recon. And at the time, we had another problem that was out there. And that other problem was people that wanted to tell you, there's no money in the recon for you. It's all roads and bridges. We really had to battle through that a lot. Maybe it was Republicans who wanted to tell you that the recon was all roads and bridges. At that point, the roads and bridges were out of the recon. They were into something called the bipartisan. So once everything was out of the recon and into the bipartisan for roads and bridges, it made it a little bit easier on us because then we could say, hey, your roads and bridges are over in the bipartisan. We all know what the bipartisan was. In fact, the bipartisan didn't exist until it was created to put the roads and bridges in there. So in a way, putting the roads and bridges did make it easier for the narrative for us to say, the recon is all checks for the American people. It's not about roads and bridges. Those are in the recon. So once we had gotten over that hurdle, then came the trash talking about the recon, that the recon wasn't this, the recon wasn't that. Well, we had a price tag agreed upon, $3.5 trillion. We had agreement that it was all checks to the American people. So the only thing left for people to say incorrectly was to say that the Senate was never going to pass the recon. And it passed it. It passed it in less than 24 hours of a vote. The recon was called for a vote in the Senate, and it passed within 24 hours. It's the bipartisan that took 2 weeks to pass. They couldn't agree upon their thing. So then what happened next? Then people started playing games with their calendars. And if you've been with me since day one, it looked very eerily familiar. It looked exactly like July 2020, where people wanted to tell you that no legislator was going to help you until a particular day, and that they weren't going to get the recon vote on the House side until September. I said untrue. I said Steny Hoyer actually issued a press release in writing, printed on his website, said they're coming back on August 23rd. No, they're not coming back. I said, yeah, they are. And they did come back. They came back. And then people started running the narrative, they're not passing it on August 23rd. They passed it on the night of August 23rd into August 24th. Done, deal, signed, sealed. Wow. I mean, how many times were they going to attempt the false, incorrect, negative, wrong reporting? So once the recon got passed procedurally, that meant there was a recon for you, $3.5 trillion, all checks from the American people. So what remains? It remains the recon substantive versus recon procedural. Let's go over the analysis of that starting right now. And Larry Pringle, yesterday in the live chat, did a beautiful job of this. He's a viewer. He did a wonderful job in the live chat, just sort of analyzing the situation very clearly back to other viewers. Recon procedural passing. This is a tow truck over the finish line. Tow truck passed $3.5 trillion with checks given to particular committees, $10 here and $20 there, for example. So recon substantive, what they're doing now is how the committees spend the money. A committee is given $10. How is the committee going to spend the money? Guess what? That sort of gave the opportunity for the false reporting to kick in again. They're just starting the recon substantive in September. No, they've been doing this since June. They've been writing this since June. And as they modify stuff, they modify stuff. And as they negotiate stuff, they negotiate stuff. Then came the narrative that they're not doing anything until the day they vote. I don't know if this comes from pure ignorance or just stubbornness. No one votes on something unless there's something to vote on. Yeah, it's sort of obvious. So you first have to do work to have the thing to vote on, and then you vote. So people see a voting date, and then they realize, oh, they're not doing anything until the voting date. No, they actually have to first agree upon something, then they have to write it, then they have to do it. So what did Ron Wyden say today? Breaking news you're hearing for the first time on Noontime is that Ron Wyden, yes, that guy who's part of the trio, Warren, Sanders, and Wyden for monthly stimulus checks in the Senate, said that they are working a lot more this week than you would normally see them ever work during a week of September, early September, on this forced stimulus recon for a series of reasons. One, because September is a very busy month. Number two, they want to get everything done for the agreement on the recon so that they can finish the drafting. Remember, if you negotiating with people about what you're doing, then you have to finalize those negotiations, Democrats with Democrats, not Republicans, because they're not part of the equation, before you write it. And he says they're working tooth and nail going over these provisions and will be doing them all weekend long. Chuck Schumer, leader Schumer on the Senate side, confirmed that last Friday. He says he's talking 4 to 5 times a day with Bernie Sanders on how to do certain provisions of the recon substantive. That's why Larry Pringle said it so beautifully yesterday on the live chat, where he said push Purple Power because this is your opportunity to push forwards and to be sure they do the recon substantive of a right way. This is where they're drafting the legislation, meaning you don't push after it's written. You push right now when they're negotiating the terms before they put it to paper. Now, that brings us back then to what you want to know about, which is those stimulus IRS monthly stimulus checks. Yes, $3.5 trillion of application-based checks under the recon are there. Those are confirmed. When you pick up the phone, you get the internet, you get the dental, you get the vision. Yes, those are confirmed. But are there monthly stimulus checks in there confirmed yet? No, not confirmed. Are they the talk of the town? They are. Now, this is where you have to sit back and say, how dare you? I mean, you really have to say, how dare you? And I don't often say this on this channel. That's why I'm going a little freeform and going off book today with this recording. Is that the broadcast channels, the print media, have had the audacity, the real audacity, as they bring in their massive multi-million-dollar salary figures, to run stories and say, there's no stimulus check, there's no monthly stimulus check, and that no one's talking about it. You know how inaccurate that reporting is and how easily that could have been disproven? By them picking up the phone and calling a legislator. In none of those articles did they ever pick up the phone and call a legislator, asking them, sir, madam, senator, House representative, are you doing or proposing a stimulus check? Their research was based upon search engines. Who does research based upon a search engine? You pick up the phone and ask the person who's in the meeting negotiating this week, the recon substantive, if they're doing stimulus checks, if it's even the topic of discussion, if they're even proposing it. WR did that on his channel. Brother Joshua did it on his channel. We've been doing this over the last few weeks. And congressional leaders, staffers have confirmed, yes, they're doing monthly stimulus checks as proposed in there. So who are these people to write these stories that never had the audacity to even pick up the phone and call the legislators and ask them and get a quote on the record? Are you doing it or you're not doing it? No quote on the record, no confirmation. In fact, just doing research based upon a search engine. Shame on you. So with that, then let's go over the incredible great details. What you need to remember as we got here is that Jolapal called the vote for the recon. And she wrote Schumer saying, Chuck, call the vote on the recon. And they did call the vote on the recon, and it passed. That letter was signed by 10 House Democrats, part of 100 plus, who recently wrote the president saying, we're putting monthly forced stimulus checks in the forced stimulus recon. Can we top that? Yes. As 7 members of the House Ways and Means Committee recently wrote the president a letter as well, on top of everything else we we just went over, where they said they're putting monthly stimulus checks in there. Purple Power, you got to push, because guess what? They got to be kept to what they represent. We have AOC and Omar saying monthly stimulus check in a letter to the president, not saying how many months and $2,000 a month. We have the House Ways and Means saying monthly stimulus check, but not saying how many months and what price tag. We have Warren, Sanders, and Wyden, before I get to Bernie in a second, calling for monthly but not saying the amount. And then we have the House bill, which has been captivating a country because of its provisions. It calls for pandemic plus 1 year, but that's $1,000 a month after the first month of 2000. It is not $2,000 a month. And can we top that? Yes. As Biden got the global minimum corporate tax rate out of the forced stimulus recon, making it easier to write the recon and easier to pass it. And there you go. In the final 15 minutes of the video, we'll go over the world exclusive why 2 legislator staffers that are critical to this entire equation have said they're doing MSCs and they're doing it for you, but they need your back. This is your call to action, and this is where you're going to succeed. Purple Power, this is your time to make history. It's coming up in the final 15 minutes of this video. Moreover, I'll go over a little bit more about these application-based stimulus, what that means. We'll go over fist stimulus as well. And we'll meet Calendar Colleen and Calendar Cod. But can we top that? Yes. If you need money for rent, utilities, food, or internet, and you've gotten at least one, reach out to the volunteers. Here's a little bit about them. I'll be back in 60 seconds as Noontime LA continues. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LA Daily for the excitement of the new LA live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LA at 9 a.m. Home LA returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LA at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LA. And the excitement continues right now at noontime, live from Santa Monica, California. The weather is beautiful here. Hope the weather is good where you are. Jump in the live chat and tell me where you're tuning in from. In the final 15 minutes of this video, we'll go over the world exclusive as the #1 legislator in the ballpark calls for an MSC and needs your support. The private conversation you're going to hear on this channel, it's LLA. Then we go over fifth stimulus. We'll be going over the application-based stimulus. I'll be answering some of your comments during the commercial break. And then you'll meet Calendar Cod and Calendar Colleen. Cod is watching his calendar and so is Colleen. And you'll get a preview of tomorrow's character as well. My goodness, what is she doing? Meantime, if you're not signed up for those LA alerts, please do so. It's totally free. It's at news.la.com. Watch for the confirmation email. It may be in the spam folder. Over 1,000 of you are still waiting to be confirmed, so make sure you watch for that confirmation email. It looks like this. And with that, make sure you subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video to 30,000 likes and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Well, it's September, and with that, we go right into what's called fifth stimulus, which is that SSI reform that raises people's benefits up who are on SSI. Let's go over the analysis of that starting right now. Starts with raising your benefits up a lifetime and then applying a new benchmark. This is something that starts drafting in September, then out to vote by November. Step 1, raising your benefits, then removing the asset limit, adding inflationary benchmark, removing the income exclusion, and removing the marriage penalty. This is the SSI reform that starts now and hopefully gets to a vote by November. Step one is they raise your benefits up. But who's this for? You. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, or veterans benefits, step one, they're going to raise your benefits up a lifetime. Then they'll apply a new benchmark. That new benchmark is inflation. So let's say the inflation rate's 5% in December. How will this work? First, they raise your benefits up. Then they apply the benchmark. And if it's 5%, you'll go up another 5%, not just next year, but a lifetime. Wow, incredible, great news. Then they'll remove the asset cap dating back to a 1980s law. This is you can't have more than $3,000 in hand. It's going to go away. They're going to remove the income cap dating back to a 1960s law. This is you can't have more than that you can't work and stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away. And love is going to win, and you'll be able to marry your longtime love interest and no longer fear a loss of benefits. Finally, is there a fifth stimulus check? There is next year. Represents the House Ways and Means Committee in their message about fifth stimulus. And finally, if you've not become a Purple Hawk, what are you doing? Purple Hawks were launched by this channel in January this year because when third stimulus was passed, and it was a $1,400 stimulus check, I said, sure, $1,400, great. We're going to get $14,000 under this third stimulus because it's there for you to get. Purple Hawks are the people who are in the live chat right now with a Purple Hawk emoji next to their name. Daily, I deliver to them a breakdown of all the big money that is in first, second, and third stimulus for them to pounce and get. And now you see what Purple Hawks are doing. 3 viewers last week over 40,000 and one at 80,000. One viewer the week before at 100,000, another viewer at 55,000, 3 viewers that week at 33,000, and 2 viewers at 20,000. Purple Hawks understand that there's big sums of money available for you right now. During the commercial break, 2 people asked questions of the following. Are we getting any money from fourth stimulus this week? Are we getting any money for fourth stimulus next week? No and no. Third stimulus is available right now. 99.99% of all viewers of this channel qualify for the items covered on this channel for third stimulus. The only people who don't qualify are people who make over 6 figures. Rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and homeowners utilities. Here are the 6 places again. City Hall, City House Authority. County Hall, County House Authority. State Hall, State House Authority. Rent assistance because of COVID. Mortgage assistance because of COVID. Utility assistance because of COVID. These viewers like Johnny started last week with 0. They ended the week with big sums of money. The week's not over. This money from third stimulus is available for you to get right now. And you can get it, and I'm very confident you can. So make the phone call. You got the inspiration from the other viewers. Make the phone call and get that third stimulus money for you right now. And with that, we go into the final 15 minutes of this video starting right now. Deal done, signed, sealed. $3.5 trillion recon is a done deal. Let me explain to you what happened. A fourth stimulus recon was agreed upon and passed procedurally, which means that 1, there will be a recon. 2, it'll be $3.5 trillion. And 3, it'll be all generally application-based checks in there. That's confirmed. Now, there's a push underway to put stimulus checks in there on top of that. Stimulus checks come automatically, in contrast, from IRS. So what are these application-based checks, and what does that really mean? Let's go over analysis by looking at some of them that are proposed. Not the law, but proposed. Free school meals for all checks, tax break checks, cheaper prescription medication checks, checks for farming, checks for free internet, checks for workers like independent contractors, checks for seniors like lowering the eligibility age for seniors, checks for dental, checks for vision, and checks for hearing care. So you saw that they were all sort of different. Just sort of like what Johnny had 7 items, he picked up the phone, called 7 different places. Well, just with these are very different items. And none of them are paid by IRS. IRS knows nothing about your teeth and knows nothing about your dental or your vision or your internet. They don't know about that. Where is that money? In the committees. That's what we started about earlier in this video when we talked about recon procedural versus recon substantive. The committees will have your money for those particular subject matters. When we went over recon procedure, we said $3.5 trillion. Given to committees, that will then have the money for you to pick up the phone and call. Not a 50-page application, not a 20-year waiting list. No, pick up the phone and say, I want that internet, I want that dental, I want that vision. Different committee for different subject matters. Now, it's important, as Larry Pringle said, to push Purple Power because different House seats are up for grabs, and you want to make sure they spend the money. That's how application-based stimulus is. You pick up the phone and get it. And you've done this since day one on this channel. You've been picking up the phone and getting money across the board. Now let's turn to the MSC, the stimulus check. And this is why I went a little bit off off a book or off script earlier in this recording because I wanted to show you how dare the broadcast media report this so incorrectly for 4 or 5 months. I'll show you what happened. 2 weeks ago, approximately, one of the viewers of this channel, WR, called up Chris Coons, Senator, Democrat, Delaware, one of Joe Biden's oldest confidants, spoke to Chris Coons' staffer and spoke about the need for monthly stimulus checks. The response was Senator Coons is proposing monthly stimulus checks. Well, hello. Did anyone from the broadcast media call up Chris Coons and ask about the question? No, they just ran a story saying there's no one wants to do this for you. Hello. One phone call from one viewer found that to be untrue and found the truth right there. But it got even more clear. The bill we're talking about, the reconciliation, recon, forced stimulus recon, you know what the whole name of it's called? Reconciliation Budget Bill. Which committee does the budget bill? The Senate Budget Committee. Sort of obvious. It's a budget bill with the budget committee. Yeah, it sort of makes sense. Who's chairman of the Senate Budget Committee? The number one guy, number one gal. Who is it? It's Bernie Sanders. He's the chairman of the Budget Committee. Oh, I see how this is going. This is getting very important. Yeah, he's the number one guy for the recon budget bill because he's chairman of the Budget Committee. Yeah. So what did he say last weekend? He said in a direct quote that prior budget chairman just sort of did things in D.C., but I like to get out amongst the people and hear from them. What does that mean? He wants to hear from you. So last week, and I told viewers, reach out to Bernie Sanders and express your opinion of the need for stimulus checks. Not a lot originally did it when I first said it. Len Glenn did it. And one viewer, longtime viewer, former volunteer to the community page, did as well. His name is Brother Joshua, called up and politely, respectfully, and professionally spoke to the staffer at Bernie Sanders' office and said of the need for a monthly stimulus check. The response is Senator Sanders is proposing a monthly stimulus check if you have his support for it. Well, did anyone from the broadcast media ever care to call up Senator Sanders over the last 7 months and ask this question? Because guess what? He's the number one guy for the budget committee, for the budget chairman. You would think they would call him first. No, they just ran the story that there was nothing, nowhere, no one was talking about it. The number one guy's talking about it. In fact, Chuck Schumer, in the same Saturday quote, said he talks to Bernie Sanders 4 to 5 times a day about how to modify provisions in the forced stimulus substantive bill. So what did that staffer at Bernie Sanders' office tell Brother Joshua? Number one, that Bernie Sanders is proposing a monthly stimulus check. Yes. Number two, that it'll be monthly and reoccurring. Yes. That it's going to be $1,000 to $1,400 a month. Yes. And that the proposal is 3 to 6 months for payments. Yes. Incredible, great news. But there was a twist. The twist was that Senator Sanders' staffer told Brother Joshua Bernie Sanders wants to do it if he sees support from you. Purple power. You've done this. This is all you. You can do this. You've done it before. In December of last year, we as a family changed history. In December of last year, there was a continuing resolution and no one was putting stimulus in there. And I solely came up with the idea to put a stimulus check into continuing resolution. People thought I was bonkers. Who's this kid in LA saying a stimulus check in CR? It doesn't belong there. It's a budget bill. It doesn't belong in there. I said, I don't care what it's called. I don't care what it's supposed to be done. You put it in there. You put other stuff in stuff like, foreign aid to foreign countries. You can put a stimulus check in there. And then one morning we woke up and they said, yeah, we're putting stimulus in there. Unemployment stimulus. I said, no, that's the wrong one. We asked for a stimulus check. We pushed back and we got it. We changed history, Purple Power, you and I, pushing these electorates to get these elected officials to get a stimulus check in the second stimulus. Now is your opportunity to make history once again. Make your children proud. Contact Senator Sanders and say, yes, you have the Purple Power support. You have LA support. I'm an LA viewer. I'm a Purple Power viewer. I support you, Senator Sanders. I thank you for your wonderful job. Yes, I support you. Be professional, be respectful, be polite, and say yes. Monthly stimulus check. Hashtag L8, hashtag Purple Power, hashtag MSC. That's how we do it. And that's how accurate, informed, on the point reporting occurs. Now, let's sort of throw in something as an equation along the line there. None of those broadcast channels ever helped you figure out how to do a PUA application. None of those broadcast channels ever helped you figure out how to do an EIDL application. None of those channels ever got you a penny for rent, utilities, food, or internet, or cares to get you that money this week as you ask in the live chat, is there any money for you available this week? None of them. All they do is run an article based upon something they read on a search engine. No bueno. No bueno. At least get the news reporting right, in case you don't care to be apathetic and not help anyone. But there you go. Oh, did you mark your calendar? Did you mark your calendar? It's September. I introduce you to Calendar Colleen, who made her debut last night on Evenings Lalate. Who is Calendar Colleen? She sort of just wants to always remind you it's September. There she is. What is her reoccurring line? It's September. Does Nancy Pelosi know it's September? It's September. And it's just the early part of September. It's the late part of September. It's September. Calendar Colleen has no real contribution to the Purple Power Society because all she keeps on doing is tell us what day of the month it is or what month it is. I think we all own a calendar. We all have a cell phone. We all have to open the cell phone. We see what day of September it is. So Calendar Colleen, it doesn't really help to keep on telling us what date it is. But you were asking last night, Calendar Colleen really keeps track of her dates very, very well. How well does she keep track of her dates? Calendar Colleen keeps track of her dates so well that she always has dates with Calendar Cod. Here's Calendar Cod. He is Calendar Colleen's date match because he keeps track of dates as well. Now, Calendar Cod says it a little bit differently. She keeps on saying, it's September. Does Nancy Pelosi know it's September? Does Ron Wyden know it's September? What does Calendar Cod say? Whatever happened to July? Whatever happened to August? Whatever happened to June? Whatever happened to September? Whatever happened to March? I think that's sort of why he's holding up a February calendar. He sort of thinks in the past. He just keeps on talking about that. Whatever happened to whatever, and she's always, well, it's September. They're a match made in heaven. So there you go. There's Calendar Colleen, there's Calendar Cod, and tomorrow, a new cast member revealed on this channel. It's freedom of speech, Frida. She just thinks she has freedom of speech to just make up faux facts. And that is Freedom Frida. Oh my goodness, can't wait for her tomorrow. Join me next on Afternoons LA at 1 o'clock. That show is coming up right after this video. You don't have to lift a finger, it'll automatically take you there. So Freedom Frida, all your fingers are occupied by holding all the money. You don't have to do anything, the video will take you automatically there, Freedom Frida. And then Calendar Cod and Calendar Colleen calendar in the next Afternoons LA show, which is at 3 o'clock. That's the big show coming up then. Then we go into Evenings LA at 5 o'clock. There is our calendar for today. Cod and Colleen, write it down. The calendar coming up next is Afternoons LA, then 3 o'clock Afternoons LA, and then Evenings at 5. Then we go into Street and Stimulus tonight, and then Sirloin. Someone dropped his... I have to go out on camera for this one. Someone last night in the comments to Sirloin wrote, I'm not here for humor. I still laugh when I see his line. I'm like, that's very funny, actually. That's a very funny line. So thank you for that funny line. And I'll see you tonight on Sirloin. But coming up next is Afternoons LA. Stay informed, stay focused, calendar me in, and stay with LA for more.